Welcome to Lex Media today and tonight. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone wherever you are tuning in to Lex Media. We have a brief interview with General Pagan Amum. It's one of the wonderful day. It's full of for the current affairs, what is happening to our country. My name is Isaac Tieng Tok. Uh, I'm the president of Lex Media, and in the studio with me is Paul Makur, is the deputy, and Abraham Madin Majak, and Honorable General Pagana Muam. We'll give the chance 2 minutes each to introduce themselves before we kick in with our interview. Paul Makur, further, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac. Thank you, Abraham Adin Majak. We welcome General Mr. Pagan Amum Okiech. Welcome to your interview. It's a great to have you today. For folks that don't know me, my name is Bol Makur Achen from Southern Sudan, and it's great today to be here with everybody. I want to make some few remarks about us. The Lakes Media. We are here with you in the country, and we had been conducting a lot of interviews, both the people in the country and the people outside the country. And all these people, they are all Southern Sudanese, regardless of our differences. And our position as Lakes Media, we are, we are the Red Army. We are still in the SPLM. The SPLM that was formed in 1982 by John Grant, Salva Kiir Mayardit, and Carbino Kwanyin Bol, including himself here with us, General Pagana Amum. I want to dismiss some narratives that trade on us by other youth. When we bring one of the comrades and we talk to him, there is a misconception that folks from Lake State Media, are rebels. First of all, we ourselves, Lake State Media, we are not rebels. And rebels is not a bad thing, neither. John Garang Mabur was a rebel. Pagana Amum Okiech was a rebel. Leave this now. The previous rebel of Sudan. And I believe you will attest to that. And they went to the bush and they fight and they become SPLM of Southern Sudan. Our duty here, I want to clarify our positions. We, the Lakes Media, we are independent media that working for peace in South Sudan. For instance, when the SPLM in government and the people now in the rebellions went to Saint Gideon, it was through our work. It was through our jobs. We work hard to speak to the rebel, and we also went out of the lands to bring also people from the government, and their voices were heard. And then Saint Gideon picked it up from us. They picked up from us, and they host the people of Southern Sudan. But other people got blinded to recognize our job, trading some things which are not right, that we are rebels. Our job here, we are neutral, but our job is to bring the people of South Sudan together so the peace will prevail. Okay. Once we talk to other people like Comrade Pagan, we also urge other people from the government also to host them so they can come. If there is something which is not said very well, then they will dismiss it. That's how we can run the media in the country. But it doesn't mean if we bring people who request us to be host, then you run around. Oh, they are rebels. And first of all, by the way, we are helping South Sudanese people who are back home to achieve peace. I will make it short, and I want youth to be more inclusive and work for peace. I was recently in Juba. And I want to tell you how Juba is. Juba is great. And I appreciate you that met with me. They welcome me, and we share a lot of ideas, and we want to work together to bring our people who are in exile back home. And I believe that's the dream of our president, to bring people who are outside the country home. And that's what we are doing with the Lakes Media. Like right now, Comrade Pagana have not been home for a long time, and I was in Juba. Juba is great. By the way, I used to work everywhere. I never been stopped. I never been harassed. Our people are tremendously good. So we want to work hard to bring our people back home. Peace. I will make it short. Thank you. I will give chance to other people to introduce themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bol. Abraham, Fadal.
Yeah, thank you, Bormakur and Isaac, and also let me welcome General Pagan Amum to Lake Media. So we are glad to have him to speak to South Sudanese, and I agree with what Bormakur said, because Lake Media, some of the citizens of South Sudan, they mistaken the work that we do, because media is independent. We are a voice of voiceless. So our job is to, because we are here to, what we are working on is a peace, like to start peace in the country. In order to do that, we have to bring the government and the opposition that they disagree and let them talk. Dialogue is very important. So, and that's what we want our leaders, whether in the government or in the opposition, they have to have a dialogue, because we need a peace in our country, because our people have been suffering for so long. Yet we are the seed of the nation, as Bormapo said it, because we've been in SPLA in the beginning. Now, also the seed, this I quote our late leader, Dr. Graham said that we will, as I said, that we will grow a gray, we born in SPLM, and we will grow gray hair in SPLM. So nothing that SPLM is a party that the vision that John Pagan and President Salva Kiir did, and late leader, that's the vision that we are carrying on. So I saw that. Thank you for all. I will give my back to you, Isaac, so you can introduce our guest.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abraham Adit and Abraham Makuraichen, and Honorable General Comrade Pagana Mom for coming to the studio and talk to the nation. Today, I will give you 2 minutes to introduce yourself. You are well known. We know you. Before the SPLA, SPLM was formed, you were in the bush already, very active in your school, in high school, university, until the movement started. While you were already in the bush, welcome. I'll give you 2 minutes to introduce yourself to our viewers, and then we will start the show afterward. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for having me in your medium of Lake State Media. First of all, let me start by congratulating the people of South Sudan for the 15th anniversary of the vote on self-determination, when from the 9th of January to the 13th of January 2011, the people of South Sudan voted to determine their future, and they have chosen to become a sovereign nation with an independent state, which later on in July 9th, 2011, we raised our flag and South Sudan was recognized. Since then, The South Sudan started its journey of state and nation building, and we had a lot of difficulties. And today, probably, we are in the worst situation of a national crisis, which we'll be discussing on how to get out of this crisis as a people. But we must remember, as South Sudanese, that we decided to come together from all the 64 tribes of South Sudan. As individual citizens, we voted overwhelmingly to become one nation. And in a day like this, and in a situation of crisis that we are in, it is very important to remember this, that we have a shared dream and we have determined our future. We have to come back to the path of state and nation building to build a peaceful, just, and a prosperous country, South Sudan, and resolve the problems that we are facing, and so that we achieve our dream, as we sing in our national anthem, that South Sudan, as our motherland, will uphold us united in peace and harmony, where we sing songs of freedom with joy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, General Pagan Amum. Abraham Adit, you have to start with our questionnaires that we have set out for.
Yeah, thank you so much, General Pagan Amum, for coming to Let Media. Let us begin where you left off. Last on Saturday, 2 days ago, you were hosted by Aparak in Clubhouse, and during your interaction with Aparak, and there's one of the question that Aparak has you and people after that show, that event. There's a lot of people in React, so the feedback that we receive. So, and the question is regarding about 1991 board massacre. So, can you clarify to South Sudanese where you left about this incident in 1991? Is it is Dr. Yang Mashar is innocent in 1991 incident or not?
It is very important to understand the context of that discussion, where the mention of 1991 massacre in Bor happened. We were actually discussing the crisis in South Sudan today and the division that is caused by the use of tribalism and regionalism as an ideology to maintain power or to capture power, where some of our leaders go to mobilize the tribesmen, deceiving them that this power is their power and they want them to protect it, when it is actually the power of the people of South Sudan as a whole. Or you go and mobilize your tribesmen using tribalism as an ideology, or regionalism as an ideology to capture power. That is the context. And one of the consequences of using of tribalism in politics as an ideology is that it divides the people, and that leads sometimes, or most of the times, to massacres or killings on ethnic basis. These also are used by the enemies of the people of South Sudan, like the government of Sudan have used dividing the people of South Sudan along tribal lines, including recruiting people from ethnic groups against other ethnic groups, like militia, as part of counterinsurgency during our liberation struggle. That is the context that we were discussing. And today, as we speak, tribalism is also being used, and it is hurting, it is dividing the people of South Sudan. It is destroying the social fabric. It is creating community conflicts. It is creating ethnic conflicts in the country. And that damages the nation building project, which by necessity must be inclusive of every South Sudanese citizen and ethnic groups. As I was just congratulating our people on the 15th anniversary of the vote on self-determination, where the people united and voted to be one nation from all the different tribes. This is a challenge as we speak today. So coming back to specifically the question, the facts are that the government of Sudan, when the split happened, the government of Sudan at that time, the Ingaz government decided to mobilize the friendly forces, the militia groups that joined them against the SPLM-SPLA, mostly recruited from the Nuer ethnic group. They were mobilized in Malakal and ordered to declare their allegiance to the leadership of the Nasser, what came to be known as Nasser faction, when Dr. Riak, Dr. Lama Kol, and General Gordon Kong, or Commander Gordon Kong, declared their takeover in Nasser, splitting the movement. That force was ordered from the headquarters of the Sudanese army to move directly to Bor and cause the massacre there and portrayed as a Dinka-Nuer conflict. That was the design. That is what happened. Now, Dr. Riek Machar, of course, assumed responsibility, even though it was not him who actually ordered the first attacks, but he assumed responsibility because that force paid their allegiance to him. And therefore, he has the intellectual responsibility. And indeed, as was mentioned, Dr. Riek apologized to the people of Bor area for the massacre that happened in 1991 and assumed responsibility for it. But the facts I'm sharing with you are realities, and that is what happened. These are historical facts, you cannot change them. Of course, people can have different interpretation, but this is a fact. Now, today, as we speak, the biggest challenge that we have is tribalism. Why it is a challenge? Because our historical task after the independence, after the vote of the people of South Sudan in January 2011, is to build a nation out of all South Sudanese ethnic groups. A nation that is united in its diversity. And tribalism is a big challenge. As we speak today, with the crisis that we are having now, and we may come to them later, we have the challenge of tribal mobilization to prosecute this war. And that is what I want us to focus on. What we are talking about here is the unity of the people of South Sudan. Who divides the people of South Sudan along tribal lines are political leaders, and they are the ones responsible for this. There's no problem between the Dinka people and the Nuer. There is no problem between the Dinka people and the Shuluk. There is no problem between the Nuer people and the Anuak. There is no problem between the Bari and the Dinka. There's no problem between the Latuka and the Dinga or the Taposa or the Dinka or the Zande. There is no problem. But there is a use of tribalism as a tool for power struggle which divides the people. Thank you.
Thank you, General Pagan. To follow up, before I yield back to my co-host, as you explained that 1991, those people who caused this horrible crime, and you say that those are friendly forces, call it Wad Sadiq in Arabic, and what people want to know, General Pagan, is that you mentioned that Dr. Riak has apologized for it and he take responsible for what happened in 1991. But for you, General Pagan, what do you think? Do you think Dr. Yamachar is responsible for it or not? Because why I say this is because even though the soldiers who commit that crime, they are what is it? But they are commanded according to the video on in the YouTube that Dr. Riak has demitted. Let me. I have a video here so I can show where Dr. Riak admit about it. So what people want to hear from you, Dr. Pagan, is about, is it, before I conclude, let me play this clip real quick.
No, I just actually...
We don't love killing.
Mm.
You know, it's not a good character. It's not part of my description. Garang today has no troops. If he had troops, we would have been fighting here. Most of his troops were wiped out in Bor. And anybody else who wants to fight knows that his fate might be the same with those who were wiped out in Bor.
Riek Machar's departure has left them vulnerable and uncertain.
When this incident happened, we could not pull out forces from around Juba because this would be exploited by the enemy. And they did try it, of course. They thought that we have pulled out our forces to go and fight Riek with. But had we done so, they would have exploited it and would have broken out from Juba all that time. So Riek's betrayal is great.
He knows how crucial unity is.
Even if I forgive them, they will be known in history as people who stabbed the movement in Southern Sudan in the back. They will be known as people who, at the point of victory, when we were going to win in Juba, this was our next target, still is. They stabbed us in the back. the people of Southern Sudan, the people of the Sudan will judge that.
There you have it. So as we hear from Dr. Yak that he admit that in that video that he wiped out and he saw his forces. So that's what is your response, follow up that question? What in your own word do you think Dr. Yak is responsible for what happened in 1981?
Now, you're talking about 1991 as a whole. Of course, Dr. Yak is the one that caused the split and ended up collaborating with the government forces and government of Sudan, including signing the Khartoum Peace Agreement, and was out of the struggle since then until 2002, when they came back. So that responsibility is there. But what we are talking about here is that the force that came and carried out the attacks first were friendly forces of the government of Sudan. And if you can see from what Commander Salva Kiir, our current president, and our late leader, Dr. John Garang Damubior, talking about stepping the movement at the back while struggling against the government of Sudan forces and not pulling out forces from around Juba. You see here, the struggle, the focus is about the struggle against the Sudanese regime. And the Sudanese regime using other South Sudanese against the movement. And that is where Dr. John is referring to, they will be judged for having stepped the movement at the back. That is very clear. And responsibility is also clear there. But what I'm talking about, which is very important for those who have been making comments on this issue, is about the use of tribalism to divide the people of South Sudan and warning against it. And the need to make sure that whatever that we do, we must keep the unity of the people of South Sudan so as to make their dream come true. The people of South Sudan united during their struggle, even though sometimes they got divided or they were divided by the enemy, but they were able to unite and secure their right of self-determination. They were united when they chose to become one nation 15 years ago. And in July that year, 2011, the people of South Sudan declared their independence. And now our task is to maintain our unity and expose the use of tribalism not only as divisive, but it could be a danger to the very existence of South Sudan as a nation that is united, that have a dream to live united in peace and harmony. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, General Pagan. I yield back to you, Isaac.
All right. Thank you so much, Gerald Pagan. As a chairperson of UPA, recently we learned of the General General Nial Den Nial joined UPA, and also another general who's Deputy Chief of Staff, General Wilson Deng Wek, as rebels has gone out from the government in Juba, did he, General Wilson Deng Wek, join UPA or has not yet contacted your alliance party?
Yes, General Nial Deng declared a movement, South Sudan Salvation Movement, to correct or address the crisis in the country, and his movement under his leadership joined the UPA, and now they are members of the UPA. We are all together, working together to rescue South Sudan from the current crisis that the country finds itself in. Indeed, General Wilson Deng declared his movement recently, last week, and it is just a new declaration, and contexts are there. We are discussing. Hopefully, they will decide also to join UPA. We will welcome them. He has been talking about also the need to unite and come together in South Sudan to achieve the second liberation of the country. So we are in the same wavelengths to work together, and that is our desire. We are working to unite ourselves all and unite the people of South Sudan to face the challenges that our nation is facing in this very critical moment. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. As as a united party alliance, you gather together and the recent military confrontation between the South Sudan People Defense Forces, SPLA, IO, and NAS, and the White Army have escalated in Upper Nile, in Hor or Jonglei. What is UPA's position on these clashes?
First of all, when the government of South Sudan walked out from the Tumaini talks and returned to Juba, they went to Juba, and again the SPLMIG, which is the main party in the reconstituted government of national unity, formed on the basis of the revitalized peace agreement, decided to detain the first Vice President, Dr. Riek, and the government basically disintegrated. The government of national unity or revitalized government of national unity literally disintegrated, and literally there was no government for a very long time. It was only elements from the SPLMIG ruling, and that continued to be the case up to today. That became a crisis, and they took the country back to war. The part of the leadership of SPLMIO are detained together with Dr. Riek Machar. Others have fled Juba into the countryside or outside the country. And the country is back to war. And this war actually started in Western Equatoria, where the governor was pushed out, and it went into Western Baragazal, and from there to Upper Nile, and now it extended to Jungle. And the SPLM-IG had also invited in foreign forces fighting alongside the government or protecting the government. And the country is at war. And the situation is not only escalating, but there is a danger of South Sudan collapsing into chaos and disorder. This may lead to disintegration even of South Sudan if we are not careful, and that is why the UPA position now is to do everything possible, not only to unite the opposition, but also to work towards developing a national consensus to take South Sudan out of this persistent cycle of violence and failed transitions, and take the country into a path of sustainable peace and good governance and democracy. That is our position. So we have to intensify the struggle. We have to unite our people. We have to unite the opposition. We have to pressure the government and isolate it in the region and internationally, so that they either come back to the table and agree to real peace that will be implemented, or the regime is changed or forced out.
Yeah, that is the question I'm asking, because Tumahini piece of talk was the one everybody was hopeful to yield out with a fruitful uh, outcome in that meeting, but unfortunately, it ended up in halfway, and now the clashes has started. As you mentioned, there is a war going on, and on the government side, since we have been hearing, the election will take place in 2026 here in December. What will be your role here? Are you going to be participating in that election, or what will be your role in between here? Secondly, also, what must be done to address the security challenges and the armed groups, because there are so many armed groups now, which are not even united and not under your control of UPA, or they are just neutral, and some are Malaysia, and we can't figure out where they belong. Where are we heading to here, General Pagan?
The country is in a very difficult situation. Probably this is the darkest moment in our life as a nation. Of course, there is war, and it is now almost all over the country. And there is a serious economic crisis. The government has been destroyed by the current leadership in power. They have looted the government to the point that the government is not able to carry out its basic function of a government, like securing and protecting lives and properties of the people, providing education or health services to the people, or managing the economy, or even addressing humanitarian crisis. Nothing. The government is not able to provide. It is not able even to pay salaries of its employees or army or police. That is a government that has already collapsed in that sense. It is not even able to do anything in terms of governance. And war is expanding, and the state is collapsing. It has shrunk to Juba, and even Juba is not secure. So change is necessary. Now, the government is talking about election by the end of December. And as you said correctly, the country is so insecure, the people are insecure. How can you conduct election in such a situation? If really the government is serious, the UPA have made a concrete response to them. Number one, we need to stabilize the country, end all these conflicts, and agree to reconcile the people. This is number one. So that you can have a stable South Sudan. Number two, you need to open the political space for the political parties to operate, and this must be having agreed on a new transition or including of when to conduct election. And number three, you need to engage in making the permanent constitution, and which will be the basic law on which the power will be handed over to the people now to elect their government in a free, peaceful, and fair elections. And a number of other things need to be agreed by the people of South Sudan in an inclusive process. You cannot go for holding election when you have undermined the peace agreement itself, when you have taken the country back to war, when you have arrested your partner and fighting your partner and declaring him as not only a rebel, but even as the enemy of the state. Where is the peace and where is the freedom that you can talk about to hold elections? And even the SPLM-IG itself, they have divided themselves so much that whether they are united now or not is another thing. And it is totally not the ruling party. The power is being exercised by cartels and elements around the president, and it is not the party that is governing.
Well, thank you for answering that. And that is the main concern for the South Sudanese people or the citizens. They are all worried because even the opposition is deeply divided with the accusation of the tribal politics. Can the opposition realistically united and have a united future or a vision or what they are fighting for? What we see here is a chaos. The citizens, they cannot understand what's going on, who is fighting who, and what are you fighting for. Many people, they are not understandable. And also the revitalized peace agreement, we are not sure is it still a viable peace or a viable path to peace, or has it failed? So all these questions are the things that are running the mind of the citizens, and I need you, the figure, the leaders, to address the nation such that the people will know where are we going to, where are we heading to. Thank you.
Yes, as we agree, it is true that South Sudan is in crisis and there is a lot of confusion. But the path out of this is, number one, this is a time for us as South Sudanese to unite. from all ethnic groups, from all the 10 states or the 3 regions. We must come together. And in a day like this, we must remember that we have decided and have determined our future, that we belong together as one nation. So we have to come back to this. Now, if tribalism has been used to divide us and to divide ourselves, we have to move in the direction of uniting ourselves and celebrating our diversity, existing as different tribes speaking different languages. It is not a reason to divide ourselves. It is, in fact, an expression of richness and wealth which we must celebrate. And it is a source of strength for the people of South Sudan. We have proven it when we voted overwhelmingly to become a nation. So that is the direction. Now, to take South Sudan back to the path of state and nation building, we must work towards building national consensus. A national consensus around the project of how can we live together in peace and harmony as a nation, as a South Sudanese nation, formed by all the ethnic communities. How do we transform ourselves from being members of tribal communities into becoming equal citizens, South Sudanese citizens, as equal stakeholders in this nation? And how do we build this nation in a spirit of solidarity and patriotism and togetherness? It has been always clear to the people of South Sudan that when they unite is when they achieve their goals. It is when they unite that they can restore their dignity. And these are lessons we have learned from generations that have been struggling since we were occupied by foreign forces. That is how we united. And South Sudanese, or South Sudan as a nation, has been born from that struggle when we came together. And we have affirmed that when we voted overwhelmingly to become a nation. Now we have to continue on that path, the path of now building a nation. And that is our historical task as the present generations of South Sudanese.
Okay.
That is to build a strong state that can serve the people of South Sudan, a state that can restore the dignity of the people of South Sudan, a state that can help the people of South Sudan to rebuild their lives, which has been broken by the oppression and by many wars that we have been forced to wage to liberate ourselves. That is the direction. That is the path that we have to go to. Thank you.
That's right. All right. Thank you so much, Gerald Pagan. As a follow-up question from our viewer here is called Tut Riak Jekan is asking, what are the consequences of a military takeover that is not inclusive, especially in the context of the South Sudan fragile political and social landscape? And I will be yielding microphone to my brother Bolmakur to take over from there after you answer that question. Thank you.
Well, the consequences will be continuation of war and divisions. And that would be very dangerous. That's why we say, let us unite ourselves. And the real task of South Sudanese today to rescue South Sudan is to come together. Come together and simply agree, how can we build a nation in which all of us are happy, in which all of us feel included? It is not difficult. How can we build a state that will manage our public resources to serve the citizen? How can we build a system where the people will be electing their leaders, and those leaders exercising authority as servants, not lords over the people, but as servants, that must also be held accountable for whatever they do by the people. That is the way to go. These are the critical questions that we must answer as a people at this stage, as generations after independence. That is our responsibility now. And it is not difficult. The difficulties that we are facing have been faced by many nations in the beginning of their rise, like wars, civil wars, divisions. These things happen. But do you learn lessons from them? We have to learn not only from our history, but also from the histories of other nations. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade General Pagan Amum. It's great that we have you today. I will step back a little bit. There's a follow-up question that I was very interested to ask, because you talked about the election. And before I go to the question that were framed, I would like to ask you, because you said that the election cannot be held and the country is in a chaos. So what I would like to ask from you is, if the government expedite peace and share power, which is your interest last time when you were in Tomahini, because I was there, the interest was to share the power. And if this sharing power is what you want, you will definitely transition to Juba. That's what I understand in the Tomahini. So now, if the government expedite peace and the same sharing power will continue and bring you home, will you support election?
First of all, the purpose of peace talks are not about sharing power. They are about the need to agree to a solution to the national crisis, resolving the problem. The purpose of talks, and whether they are the Tumaini or the Rome negotiations or the RRCs, the high-level revitalized process, the purpose is to craft an agreement which will end the war, build peace, reform the state, implement economic recovery, and lay the ground or lay down the elements of rule of law in the country, including having a constitution that will be the basic law defining how South Sudanese will manage their own affairs, their public affairs, and how do they govern themselves, how do they elect their government, how long that government will be in power before they go back to elect a new government. These are the core of the agreement. And it is not about sharing power. Sharing power is just one element, and the purpose of sharing power is actually to implement the peace agreement, which is the building, the peace building, including reconciling the people, healing the wounds. It is about reforming the state and rebuilding the state institutions. It is about building institutions to manage resources in a transparent and accountable way. That is the real content. It is, in short, it is about agreement on how to build the state and how to transform ourselves into a nation coming from different ethnic groups and different states and different regions, and how to govern ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you, General. I'm still in that document of a peace agreement, because last time it fall apart and you went to where you want to be, and the SPLM in government went to where they want to be. And my question now, in the region, because all these agreements or peace being held, they are being supported by the regional, which is intergovernmental. Right now, is the regional, does they still interested to bring South Sudanese together, which is the people who are now in outside the country, and the government, and negotiate and bring peace, or they're not concerned anymore? The Troika, all these peacemakers, are they still talking with you guys to sit down, or they just let you?
Well, the problem is that the government of President Kiir walked out from the Tumaini talks and went further to declare that the Tumaini is dead after they walked out. As they walked out from the Rome Sant'Egidio mediated process, they have gone to also destroy the RRCs, which is the peace agreement on which basis that government itself was formed. And they have divided themselves. They have taken the country to war again. And the parties, the main parties of the RRCs are fighting now themselves. And the country is about to collapse. The region and the international community are concerned, very concerned, about the development in the country, but also disappointed in the fact that the government has shut down all the avenues for bringing peace to the country. They have walked out from the peace talks. They have destroyed their own agreement that they were implementing, even though it was not being implemented. That is the reality. So the international community and the region are disappointed by the government and are not sure what they can do else. Even to continue the mediation. Of course, the mediation, like the Tumaini mediation, led by His Excellency President William Ruto, and headed by General Sambayo with his team. They are waiting. They are still on the table. We have been on the table, but the government has walked out.
Okay, thank you.
What can they do?
Thank you. I believe in our speaking here now, the president is listening, and he now know that they are being accused of them walking out. So I believe we will work it out to come back again to negotiate. Another question.
We hope so. And we are not accusing them. That's the fact. They walked out.
It worked out. So now in this talk, I believe they're watching us. Me too. I urge them to come back to negotiate because I would like everybody to come home. And I was in the peace talk, by the way, and
Yes.
I'm one of the best negotiators. You know, I used to talk to those people in Kiswahili. There was one era actually, Mr. Pagan, that was made. And I believe I get a chance today to just tell you, and also so our president can listen. You know, I get bitana bakarabube nastani. And Anina Nast, we, the people who are really very concerned and have knowledge about our people see us like we're bad people. You know, I was talking with people over there, those young negotiators, you know. There was something that I've seen actually destroyed Tomahini, but does not come from the government nor rebels. People were divided, you know, and I told them, the young people who are here to negotiate together with Master Pagan and SAP, do not exclude them and do not chase them out from negotiation. Without them, peace will not be inclusive. I have seen individuals were working against peace in South Sudan by expelling some young people who are rebels, and you know, and thinking that they want to accommodate people like you, people like our brother Paul Malong. But that's not. I told them that's not how it should work. The president said that it has to be inclusive. I have seen that a lot of people are working just for the paycheck, but they were not working for the peace to come to South Sudan. I was one of the people actually who was working for peace behind the door, telling them, no, we need people to be inclusive. The young people that you got chased out, they need to be in the talk. And that's how we will bring peace. Now, Mr. Pagan, when peace come again, those young people who always being sidelined because of our differences, they need to be included. And then let the peace be a united peace talk. But people like you, they were not knowing behind the door what was happening. But because I'm someone who is linguistic, I speak Swahili a lot. I talk to them at the door. I said, no, you guys are doing wrong, you know, by expelling those young people out of the peace talk. You know, without them, there will be no peace. Thank you. If you want to refresh it and talk about it later on, you will talk about it. But my other question is, who do you hold most responsible for the ongoing instability in the country, SPLM-IG or SPLM-IO? Because what happened recently, you are aware, because you talked before about the partner being put into the jail. And you know that what happened in the country, because you are aware the partner is not just in the jail. Nobody get, you know, upset in the middle of the day and, you know, detain anybody. Anybody was free before. But if the partner also is not supporting peace and, you know, recruiting militias, and then militias confronted the united military and kill them, and that's what happened, and that's what take the partner away, you know, and be in a court today. So can you come in here and tell us between the SPLM in the government and the SPLM in opposition, whom do you think really caused this cause?
First of all, let us be very clear. The responsibility for the collapse of RRCs is the responsibility of President Kiir himself. And it is under his leadership that the SPLM-IG and the army, the security, and others started all this destabilization. And it is very important to always remember the fighting did not start in Nasser. The fighting has been right from the beginning all over the country, but in the last stage, the fighting started in Western Equatoria. Then it moved to Western Bahr Ghazal. And it has been the SPLM-IG attacking SPLM-IO. Then it moved to Upper Nile. There also, the main cause of that crisis was by the SPLM-IG. President Kiir decided to deploy his own forces into Nasser or to relieve the force that was in Nasser. As per the agreement, which is the agreement he had agreed to, such deployments are not allowed in the agreement. The force that needed to be deployed are unified forces. That is the cause of the problem. Now, sorry, I think my phone is losing power.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it will. So that attempt to deploy the forces is what triggered the fighting in Nasser or in Upper Nile. And then the bombing of IO positions, including in Jungle, triggered the fighting again. So here you can see very clearly that the responsibility is that of SPLM-IG and particularly President Kiir himself. He is responsible for this crisis. And he has Victoria arrested, but even before his last house arrest and trial, Victoria actually was detained in Juba, was not allowed to move around the country. And President Kiir did not begin the implementation of the agreement. The first thing that was in the agreement is for President Kiir and Victoria and all other leaders that signed the RRCs was to disseminate the agreement and sell it to the people. They have not done that. They have not even appeared in public talking to the people of South Sudan that they have agreed to peace. That did not happen. And who is responsible for that, who prevented that, is President Kiir. So Riyadh has been in the hands of President Kiir. Actually, he had no freedom.
Thank you.
Up to now. Thank you.
Thank you. We are coming to someone else's question. Mr. Riek Padiet has a question on the screen. Read that and responded, and we are coming to your party, the real SPLM.
I'm not able to read.
I will
you
read,
have to read it
to you. Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, the question goes from Riek Padiet says, my question to General Pagan, will he or one of his colleagues contest for the presidency in the upcoming election or at any point in the future?
First of all, there are no conditions for elections now in the country. And therefore, I don't think the issue of who will contest for election is a question that we can be concerned about now. The most important thing is for us all as South Sudanese to rescue our country and prevent its disintegration. Let us do everything. Let us unite ourselves to take our country out of this chaos that it is in, stabilize it, and then agree to rebuild it and establish a system how we govern ourselves, including elections, including having a constitution, and how to administer the country. Like now, there is need to build South Sudan as a federal state in reality, because it has been a popular demand of our people. These are the tasks that we have now. Let us rescue South Sudan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for a great response to that. I'm coming to a question about your party. It says some people have raised concern, question that the real SPLM does not have a manifesto. Does real SPLM have manifesto? And if so, can you explain about it so people understand and, stop those accusations being traded around? Thank you.
Yes, the real SPLM has a manifesto. In fact, I have shared the manifesto with Abraham when he asked me that question some few days ago, and so it is available with you. We have a manifesto, and in that manifesto, we clearly articulate our vision as a political organization. And essentially, our vision, as it is in the name, is to revive, or our objective is to revive and restore the vision of historical SPLM, and ensure that this vision is what would guide us in the process of state and nation building. This vision has been betrayed by President Kiir and his group. He moved away from that vision and destroying the historical SPLM, which is split it when President Kiir and his supporters tried to silence the call for reforms within the SPLM and took the country to war, including accusing some of us who were calling for change and who were calling for a return to the vision and correction of mistakes, accusing us of having attempted a coup falsely, which is not true, and we have been set free by the court in South Sudan, and later on forcefully exiled out of the country. So that is our core objective. So our aim is to regroup the SPLM members, recruit new members, especially of younger South Sudanese who have come of age after the struggle, and this is it is about their future, and our vision is a peaceful, just, and a prosperous, inclusive South Sudan for all South Sudanese, a country that is united in its diversity, a South Sudan that belongs to all South Sudanese, where all South Sudanese are equal stakeholders, regardless of their gender or clan, tribe, or region. That is our vision, and towards that we struggle, and towards that we offer ourselves to serve the people of South Sudan.
Thank you, General. What about UPA, which I believe the abbreviation is United People
Yes,
Alliance.
Alliance, United People Alliance? Because sometime, I had not been follow up. So what is the United People Alliance vision for uniting South Sudan beyond ethnic regional division?
yes, we have formed the United People's Alliance by coming together as different political organizations, and we have issued our charter, political charter, which I believe you have received it as well. And the goal is to build a peaceful South Sudan, a country that belongs to all South Sudanese, where we unite all our people, regardless of tribes, and we build an inclusive society. And that is, and unity, of course, when you come together, you put your efforts together. We have united. When we saw the government walking out from the peace talks, we felt it was necessary, given the crisis we have, not only to unite ourselves, but also to intensify the struggle using all means possible to rescue South Sudan. And we issued on the 9th of January last year our founding call and declaration, which I will also share with you. I you have seen it, but in that we have called for the unity of the people of South Sudan.
Thank you. Thank you, General. General, I know you used to be a close, this question just comes somewhere. I frame it myself. It's not in the.
It's okay, go ahead.
You used to be a close friend to John Grant. You used actually to be one of the people that they share ideas, and also President Kiir. You guys used to be very close. During time you execute a war plan, you guys used to be together all the time. I was there too. I'm one of the SPLM people. I was there, though I was not in the front line because I was a kid, but I was there. Uh, do you believe it was the same sabotage that was done to the SPLM, SPLA, which is still carry on today? Do you believe or not?
Well, in history of people, divisions happen, deviation from the goals also happen, and it is sometimes unfortunate that people divide themselves, and sometimes also greed sets in, and power also corrupt people. These things happen. It is true. We have been together. We have been comrades. Dr. John was not just a friend to him. He was my leader. He was our leader. And Salva Kiir was also our leader. Before John Garang died, was one of the leaders, like the others, like Carbino and William Nyon, and other members of the military political high command. They were all our leaders, and we have been struggling together. We are comrades in the struggle, and when we lost Dr. John in that tragic helicopter incident, we asked deputy chair of SPLM then, Comrade Salva Kiir, to be the chair and take over the leadership from late Dr. John Garang Dongombior. And we agreed, and he said that the SPLM under his leadership will be like a vehicle without a reverse gear. He was saying that he will not go back or away from the vision and the programs of SPLM. Unfortunately, he deviated, and when we tried to correct those deviations, he did not accept, and he became violent, and that is where we are. And now we have been engaged in talking. We have met him, and the aim is to come back to the path of state and nation building and build a country as it is in our national anthem, a country where South Sudanese live united in peace and harmony, and where they will be singing songs of freedom with joy. With joy meaning their life is better and they are happy. And that is the purpose of this whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you, General. Final question, and I will hand the other question to Comrade Abraham Adid. Finally, what message would you like to deliver directly to your people? People of the loving people of South Sudan. I call them loving people because I know in my heart South Sudanese don't hate one another. It was just a little division, and that's the reason whereby everywhere I go, I choke down with anybody, and talk with the language of peace and harmony. So I call them the loving people of South Sudan. So go ahead and tell us what's your direct message to them today.
Yeah. Before he went off, on to say his last message to the South Sudanese people, I have a very important question that I need to add on. Say that he will answer that, and then you will address the public in your last remark. Since January 9th, 2005, when CPA was signed, it was very jubilating to all South Sudanese. We celebrated it highly with a great hope. During the 6 years interim period, everybody was hoping we are going to vote whether for the unity or separation, and that thing was voted unanimously. Overwhelmingly for the separation. And from there, when we gained the country as independent sovereign country, we were expected the government to have accountabilities for the truth and reconciliation and peace among the atrocities which has been taken by the rebels, or let me put it in that way. During in the war, there are a lot of things that has happened, and they are well known, and they are documented, and we have witnesses of it. Do you believe peace, justice, and reconciliation can succeed without accountability for the past and present atrocities? And it's now is mounting, is carrying on, is going on. Will that thing happen? Because there are other people who are still alive, and they lost their loved one, and they are waiting for the justice for their loved one. That thing, I need you to answer that question before you conclude.
And also, Isaac, there another question go with the question that you asked.
Yeah.
Pagan, you can write this question down. Is coming from Well Moranyar. He asking you if the Adigono fail to conduct the election this year, it lose legitimate. Will UPA recognize a government which may come through unconstitutional arrangement? So that question go with the question that Isaac asked.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. There can be no reconciliation and genuine peace and healing of the wounds without justice and accountability. There must be accountability. Though the core objective of this process is to unite our people, is to heal our people, is to reconcile. We reconcile our people so as to keep our unity. And we heal so that we refocus and free and release our energies to build the nation as a united people. But there must be accountability, and therefore we support as UPA the process of the need for justice and accountability, including the establishment of the hybrid court as was agreed in the RRCs and the RCs before. Secondly, these processes must have a very important component of truth telling, not only to focus on punishment, but rather to focus on truth telling, apologies, and reconciliation as well. Now, for the government holding elections, if they hold elections which are not credible and not free, without having adopted a permanent constitution or a new constitution for the country, without stabilizing the country and ending the wars that are going on, that type of government will not have legitimacy, will not be legitimate because it is in power. It will come to power having stolen the legitimacy from the people. And that, even though it will be the government, it will just be a de facto government, but without legitimacy. It will be a government of the day. We will deal with it as a government of the day. As it is, the current government has actually lost legitimacy when they violated and destroyed the RRCs on which they have been formed. And with that, they have lost their legitimacy. They have returned the country to war, but they are a government of the day, even though it is in Juba, and even though it is not delivering, but they are the government of the day. And we deal with them as that. As a matter of principle, we are ready to engage, including negotiate, with that government of the day in Juba.
Okay, thank you, General Pagan. We at this juncture, the question that Bolmako asking you will be the last one because we have many people here sending a lot of questions in. I don't know if you have a time to answer them. So here is the question coming from Michael Ngor. It's a lot of questions. Michael Ngor asking this question to Honorable Pagan Amum. Number one, do you believe in the use of tribalism as a tool to achieve a political power? Or if why do you have abomination for the leadership, and you are from minority tribe, which is from Shuluk. Question number 2. You have been anchor for SPLM failures during Tarnish. What you think you can do better to regain a South Sudanese trust? And question number 3, what is your parliamentary?
Can you repeat question number 2, please?
Yeah, question number 2 said that you have been
architect.
Architect.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have been an architect for SPLM failure during your tenure. What do you think you can do better to regain South Sudanese trust?
And question number 3.
What is your fundamental, tangible achievement during your tenure as SPLM Secretary General?
Yeah.
People of South Sudan can remember you for. Number 4, what are your key programs as and then I did not have any other further.
I think that should be the idea. Okay, you guys can bring us some more questions, so we receive some complaint that they're sending some questions. Okay. Do you want to go ahead and answer those questions?
Okay, all right. Whether I believe in the use of tribalism, definitely not. If he has listened to what I've been saying from the beginning, he would have not asked this question. I don't believe in the use of tribalism as an ideology. We are against it, and it is damaging to the unity of the people of South Sudan. And tribalism, as John Garang said, cannot be a policy or an ideology to build a nation, because you cannot build a nation on the basis of what divides people. That is what John Garang said in many, many occasions, and I believe in that. Also, John Garang used to say that tribalism and racism cannot unite Sudan or cannot unite South Sudan. And he said, if somebody from, when he was talking to prisoners of war in Ye, he was telling them about the need to be, to build Sudan on what unites people. And he said, if somebody come up and say, Sudan, the dollar for a year, you will say he's crazy. And indeed, that will be craziness. Just like now, if somebody say, Junuba Sudan dollar denkawiya, you will be making a big mistake. Or dollar bariawiya, or dollar shulkawiya, or dollar latukawiya, or dollar zandawiya. That will be just not going to work. Therefore, we must be very clear that the right vision for South Sudan is to build South Sudan as an and now saying that I come from a minority tribe, again, let me quote Dr. John Garang. Dr. John Garang said, nobody
we would like you to correct
a majority.
You are in darkness. Yeah, your phone flip probably, so we cannot see you.
Your camera is off.
Your camera is off. You can exit and come back, because I believe people love to see you.
Okay, what is the problem now? Can you see me now?
No.
No, we cannot.
Yes. But now you can turn your phone triangle. Yes, look good, awesome. Carry on.
Okay. Let me quote John Garang again. John Garang said, nobody is a majority of anybody else. Nobody is a minority of anybody else. I am a South Sudanese citizen, and I am equal with the gentleman who was saying he has not even a little bit of more rights than me or more duties above me. No. We are equal citizens. There is nothing called majority in a country among citizens unless people vote. And when we go to vote, we will not be voting on the basis of tribes. You will not be going to vote for your tribesmen. You will not provide services on the basis of your tribesmen. Like, take for example, if you are a medical doctor, it is not only the sick people from your tribe that you will treat. You will treat anybody who is sick, not even from South Sudan alone, but from anywhere else. If you are a teacher, you will not be teaching only your children from your tribe or your village. You will be teaching all the children that will come to the class. And you will not be dismissing them because they are not from your tribe. That is how nations are built. They are built on the basis of citizenship. We transform ourselves from being members of tribes to become citizens of a nation. And when we are citizens of a nation, we become equal citizens. Nobody is better than the other. And actually, that is what destroyed Sudan, because some people were saying that Sudan is an Arab Islamic state, and therefore the non-Arabs and the non-Muslims have less or no rights. And therefore, introducing tribalism in South Sudan, this is a sure way of disintegration of South Sudan. And that is not the choice of our people. The choice of our people is for them, having decided to vote overwhelmingly to be one nation from all the tribes, to transform themselves into citizens of this new nation and build it where we can live united in peace and harmony as we sing in our national anthem. And on the question that I was the architect of failure of SPLM, I beg to disagree with that. And if you were a member of SPLM, I'm sure you have seen my work as a Secretary General, whether in the implementation of the agreement or in the building of the SPLM as an organization, in organizing the second convention, preparation for the third convention, in leading the negotiations on post-independence issues with Sudan. I think my work can be assessed, and if it is a failure, then our people will definitely judge. For him, of course, he has the right. He can say, I am a failure, I am the architect of that failure. He can hold me responsible for it. He may not have trust in me. That is him. But that is not the view of the people of South Sudan. If that becomes the view of people of South Sudan, that would be also acceptable by me. Then I will not have the trust. I believe I have the trust of the people of South Sudan. I believe I have served the people of South Sudan over the last 4 decades, more than 4 decades of my life. Thank you. And on our key program, I have said it before, and I will summarize it. Maybe I will also put it as my last word. First, South Sudan is in a deep crisis. It is threatened with collapsing into chaos and disintegration. Our number one objective now is to rescue South Sudan. 2 is to work to unite the people of South Sudan and fight tribalism and sectarian regionalism. Unite the people of South Sudan, reconcile the people of South Sudan, and heal the wounds that have been inflicted, particularly because of the use of tribalism, which has divided our people and made them to fight among themselves, creating problems on them. And this is as a result of failure of leadership, particularly those leaders who turn to use tribalism and regionalism as a tool to maintain power or a tool to capture power. And that is what we want to work to heal the nation, to unite the people. Then lastly, it is for us to take South Sudan on the path of nation building, because our vision is that of a peaceful, just, and a prosperous South Sudan, new South Sudan. And to achieve this, which will make the dream of our people come true, as we sing in the national anthem, we think that we want to live in a country in peace, united, and in harmony, where prosperity, liberty, and justice will be the rule of the day, will be the norm forever. As we say, liberty, justice, and prosperity shall forevermore reign in our national anthem. Now, to do that, to achieve that, you need a strong state, a servant state, a developmental state that is capable to deliver on this promise, capable to build a vibrant economy, transforming our agriculture from a subsistence economy into a surplus producing agriculture, where we can produce our food and more, and start exporting rather than relying and being dependent on relief and always being in hunger and being hit by hunger from time to time. That is our plan, where we can build a South Sudan, a state that is able to educate our children, to educate all our people, because you need to build a citizenry that is highly educated to participate in the knowledge-based economy of the world that we have today. This is not just about cultivating durra and tomatoes. It is much more than that. Even transforming our animal livestock husbandry into a real economy that produce more meat, more milk, and more better skin and hides for industries as well. And not just for our food, but also to increase the wealth of the nation through exports as well, and building a better life. That is the state and nation building project to create the basis for a life of prosperity where our people can be happy, where they can genuinely begin to sing songs of freedom with joy. That is our key program. And we call on the people of South Sudan to unite behind UPA, so that we rescue the country and begin the real process of state and nation building, which is our historical task as the generations of the period after independence. Thank you.
Thank you, General Pagan. Before we have a few more questions.
Thank you.
Let us give our co-host in Clubhouse a chance. Joseph.
Are we together?
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I'm not hearing you.
Isaac, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All
Okay.
right.
So we have our co-hosts in Clubhouse, Joseph and Patrick. So we can
Hello.
if they have
Yes, we did mute ourselves when you were speaking, so you cannot be interrupted.
All
Yeah,
right.
but we are together. When you were talking, we mute ourselves, so you cannot be interrupted.
No,
Yes.
that's all right. Thank you.
Okay, Joseph and Patrick, you guys can go ahead if you have a question for General. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Madid. Thank you, General Pagan Amum. I have two questions. The first question, General Pagan Amum, this question to General Pagan Amum as former detainees. So my question is, why former detainees split to two? Some of them went to Juba and joined the government, and the rest remain outside and form real SPLM. That's the first question. The second question is, General Pagan Amum, you've been accused that you burned the document of SPLM. Is that true?
That what?
You burned them?
Then you banned
you
office
banned the
of
document of the SPLM.
the documents has been banned down in the office of the SPLM Secretariat.
Secretarian, you are being accused. You coordinate, you plan your escape, and you ban the document of the SPLM secretarians, and you escape. And those documents are important. They contain the peace agreement that was signed by Dr. John Garang. So the public accuse you that you have you planned that, and to let people look at the government of Kir as a failure government, and you escape.
Yeah. Go ahead, Patrick. Finish your question.
Thank you. That was.
Any other question? Because he has to write them down.
Patrick, do you have any question? Okay, maybe Patrick is getting away. Yeah, we have three questions up here. Let me put them up on the screen. There is a question come from Abilcon. He asking you, General Pagan Amum, do you believe?
Shall I answer?
Oh, you want to answer those first? Okay, go ahead.
Shall I answer the questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, General.
Okay. Two questions. That of the FDs and real SPLM. Well, you followed that the FDs actually we did not get divided, but we had different view on the RRCs. The group that went to Juba said even though there were issues with RRCs, they will go and try to remove these issues and implement the RRCs and bring peace. The other group said with this way that the RRCs were signed and the mediation of Sudan created problems, and the RRCs would not be implemented and would not bring peace. So they refused to sign and remain out as part of the group that came to be known as non-signatories of the RRCs. And that is where this last group formed the real SPLM from the FDs. And what happened since 2019 and 2020, you all know it. We ended up with RRCs now collapsing and not implemented. They have tried their best, and any one of them can share with you what they have tried and what they have achieved in the implementation of RRCs and what they could not achieve. This is something that they can share more because they have that experience. And for us, we have tried to negotiate with the government that has been formed on the basis of RRCs. We went to Rome, we went to Kenya, to the Tumaini process. The government walked out from these two processes, and here we are. So that is where the real SPLM is. Now we are part of the UPA, and we are still in the program of rescuing our country and achieving sustainable peace, or taking the country out of these failed transitions and failed implementation of peace agreements to sustainable peace, democracy, and good governance in our country. This is where we are now. On the accusation that I burned down the SPLM documents, where and when, and run out from where? This is very strange. I think this is just nonsense. There's nothing true about it. And the way I went out of the country first was being exiled by President Kiir after we won the case and the government lost the case in court. So we were sent out. That is how I did not run from the country.
Okay.
I was actually put in a plane by the security with the orders of President Kiir to leave the country. And the second time, I went to Juba, was sworn in. I did not burn any document. And when I was the Secretary General, I left the country through the airport to be part of the peace process in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, after I agreed with the president that we are going to sign a peace agreement. The president refused to sign, so we disagreed again. Just after a few weeks, so we disagreed, and from there, I did not go back to the country up to now because he refused to sign that peace. And when he signed, he said that was not a good agreement. It was imposed on him, and he was not going to implement it. He also reneged on implementing the Arusha peace agreement as well. And up to today, even the FDs or the IO who are in Juba, they are not a united SPLM as we agreed in Arusha.
But you are a signatory of the Arusha Peace Agreement, isn't it?
Yes, we are as FDs, as former political detainees.
Okay,
So,
there are two questions coming in from a gentleman called Mabur Majur and Abiel Kon. Abraham Adit, would you like me to read them out?
Yeah,
Abiel Kon.
Abraham cannot hear himself with General Pagan. I will read it out. Abiel Kon asks you, General Pagan Amum, do you believe in SPLM vision of taking down to people? Can any South Sudanese contest an election anywhere he or she wasn't born, as long as he lives in that consistency for at least 6 months or year before election? I didn't understand this well.
yes, I understand it.
All right, then go ahead. And there is another question also. You put it on as well to add them up from Mabur Majur. Mabur Majur is asking you, can Honorable Pagana Mom elaborate and elucidate issue with the tribalism in South Sudan other than power struggle and promotion of nepotism? That is from Mabur Major.
That's a gentleman from Australia. He's a scientist, so he hit us with the term called elucidate, which means to explain. Go ahead.
Okay. For the elections where a citizen will vote or contest should not depend on our opinion as citizens. It must be based on the law. First, on the Constitution and the electoral law. We must agree in our Constitution as a people on the issue of movement, residence of citizens. As citizens. Now, that is a process of nation building. It is a process which I called before transforming ourselves from being members of tribal communities to become citizens of a nation, equal citizens of a nation. We will not be governed by our tribal norms and traditions. No, we will be governed by our constitution and our laws. And the constitution is the basic law for the country, which we must agree. And it is basically agreeing on how do we manage our affairs as citizens of the South Sudanese nation. How, and then the laws will be detailed of citizenship, of residence. For example, the laws, the electoral laws will detail that a citizen who is a resident of a certain place will have for a period, will stay for a certain period to qualify to be a citizen of that state or that county, and will qualify to vote or be elected to serve his compatriots in that county or in that state. Because election is about choosing citizens to serve us in our constituency. And that will be regulated by the law of the nation, electoral law and other laws as well. And now we will also decide for the laws. They will be legislated by our parliament, state parliament or national parliament. They will be the people whom we elect to go and legislate and agree on laws which will be implemented by the judiciary. And we will agree in our constitution that nobody will be above the law. And if you violate the law, there will be prescriptions. And the law will also provide when to vote, where to vote, and how to vote, and how to qualify to be a voter, how to qualify to be a candidate for whatever position. So it is not about opinion. And it is also not about parties. It is about the people and the representatives whom they elect. On the question of tribalism and the dangers that it carries, I have really talked about this quite a lot, unless the person who is asking was not there, but you can see it right from the beginning. The use of tribalism as an ideology
is 5 a.m.
of power struggle. The use of tribalism as an ideology to gain power or maintain power is destructive, and it divides the country. And this is not only South Sudan. Anywhere else which is form of multi-ethnic or which is multi-ethnic, if you use tribalism, you divide the people and you delay the nation from progressing. And it has to be avoided. And if you use tribalism to appoint your relatives or your tribesmen into position and empower them to have access, that is a mentality that is seeing the government as something to be looted for personal gain or for family gain. That again destroys the country. First, nepotism is against meritocracy and competence. And when you form a government with people who are not competent and who have no merits, but they are brought in because of tribalism or because of nepotism, then that government will not be efficient, or that official will not be effective, will not deliver. That is what leads to state failing or government failing to deliver, to serve the citizens. And the purpose of government is to serve the people, to provide public goods. And there are a lot of experiences where society is formed by tribes, but they choose their governments or they build their institutions on the basis of merits. Take, for example, a country like Singapore. They have Chinese, they have Malay, they have Indians, and their government is only based and formed on the basis of merits and on the basis of competence. And it is such a government that has been delivering. They have been able to deliver Singapore, from being a third world country, very poor, into becoming one of the top wealthy nations in the world. Probably they are among the top 5 richest nation in the world. And by the way, for your information, Singapore has no resources. They have no oil, they have no agricultural land, they have no even water. But they were able to create wealth and make that nation wealthy. Because of merits, they form a government to deliver. They don't see the government as something to be looted like it is now in South Sudan. And John Garang warned us against this, that this mentality that see a government as something to be looted is very dangerous. And if you form that government with that mentality, it will fail to deliver. And John Garang said, even the SPLM, if it does this, they will fail to deliver, and the people will throw them to the sea. Even John Garang said, and even if there is no sea in South Sudan, the people will look for a sea to throw that SPLM government into the sea, like just now. And our people are going to throw that government into the sea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gerald Pagan.
Ready for my question?
Yes, we have come to an end, but I have 2 questions. I mean, 2 people.
No, I don't think we can take any more questions, please. Thank you.
Just 2 questions only.
No, I have no time for that. I'm entering into another meeting. They have been waiting for me. Yes, thank you.
All right, then no worries. All right, thank you.
Another time, if you can give us another opportunity, I will be able to come and answer all the questions.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
Thank you so much for coming to the show tonight for us and all our viewers in the Clubhouse, in the YouTube, and the Facebook. Thank you so much. May God bless the Republic of South Sudan and all the well wishes to ask for the blessing of 2026 to be a year of peace in our country and the nationwide.
Thank you very much for hosting me, and let me also take the opportunity to wish the people of South Sudan a happy New Year 2026, and we pray that 2026 will bring peace and change in our country so that we can have stability and begin to rebuild our lives and build a prosperous South Sudan. And I thank your viewers and listeners in all the medium, in YouTube, Clubhouse, and Facebook. And once again, thank you very much for having me in Lagos State Media.
Thank you so much, General. God bless you. We will catch up again.
Yeah, General, can we all
Thank you.
we are
God bless you.
on Lake Media, not Lake State Media.
All
right. Go ahead, Isaac.
Thank you.